Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here, especially in person. I think everybody's thinking that. It's great to be back. This is going to be a really new experience for all of us. You know, when you graduate the National Player of the Year, and we've got two guys going to the NBA, and a team of really talented young players, all of whom are now going to be in a new role. And I think that's an exciting challenge for any coach. You know, kind of, we all knew the last couple of years what we were going to try to accomplish, who was playing, who was going to get the bulk of the minutes, who was going to take most of the shots, what we were going to run. But now we have a different team. You know, it's a little bit smaller, but we do have length and athleticism. I think we have great depth. We do have two older guys we're going to rely on for leadership, and that's Fran McCaffery and Jordan Bohannon, both of whom are here. But after that, we've got a lot of youth, but I think we have great character, great chemistry, and it's going to be a fun ride in that sense.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now open up to questions. Second row.
Hi, Coach. Alec Bussey, Rivals.com. Keegan Murray is a sophomore, and guys often take a huge jump between their freshman and sophomore year. What have you kind of seen from him in the summer, and I guess now his practices have started?
The thing about Keegan is he's amazingly consistent. So what I saw from him this summer and this fall is exactly that. He drives it, he shoots it, he moves it, he can handle, he rebounds, he blocks shots. He plays the game with a tremendous amount of intensity, but more importantly, an understanding of how to play. You know, he was a guard most of his life, and now he is playing kind of the front court position. He can guard a 5, he can guard any position pretty much 1 through 5. And I think what I've tried to do is encourage him, you know, to be great. You know, last year he was really successful. We all saw that, and an integral part of a very successful team. But now he's going to take that next step, I think, to being a star, which we all want for him. And he kind of doesn't view himself that way. You know, very humble, but he knows he has that ability, and I consistently encourage him, you know, to be the best player on the floor every day.
Fran, Tom Bruce, Sports Illustrated, Indiana. You had Luka for so long and dominated the ball so much on your offense through the year, and even though he was surrounded by a lot of good players, when you go into a new year now without him, will we see a lot of sort of new things, fresh things? Has it been a summer of sort of thinking up new ideas?
I think probably as much defensively as offensively. You're right. I mean, he was so consistently dominant offensively, and it gave you so much confidence as a program, as a coach, as players on the floor coming down the stretch. We could always run something for him. He's going to get a bucket. He's going to make the right decision. But we've always been kind of a motion team anyway, and he kind of got that naturally. We moved it. We did run some sets. So we'll consistently run motion again. You know, we have, I think, a lot of players who can dribble, pass, and shoot. We run a 5 out. You know, a lot of times we ran 5 out with him, but he would end up in. It would be 4 out, 1 in, kind of. So I think from that standpoint, it will be a dramatic change not having him. But he was so gifted at understanding whatever we were doing. You know, and that's what made him a great leader. If we were running sets, if we were running motion, if we were in transition, if we were playing against the zone, if they were pressing, if we were running a side out of bounds play or an out of bounds play under the basket, he was so incredibly cerebral. And you're right, you sort of take that for granted after a while when you have him for 4 years. It makes coaching a lot easier. And so now it's going to be a different challenge. Who's going to step into that role? Well, we don't have anybody that's 6'11" that's going to average 27 points a game. So where's the rest of the points going to come from? Will it be Keegan Murray? We just talked about him. Will it be Patrick McCaffery? Will it be, you know, Bohannon moving over to the off-guard position? We've got young guards coming in at the point. What big guys will step up for us? You know, will it be Keegan's brother Chris, who's a tremendous player? I think he's got a chance. And Philip Rebecca, the transfer from North Dakota. So maybe our young guys, Joshua Gundelay and Riley Mulvey. But you know, we may play smaller, But we have, I think, as much depth as we've had in a long time, so we'll see how that works out.
Hey, Fran, John Bohannon, HawkeyeNation.com. You talk about Chris Murray, and you talked about him all summer. Can you see that continued development in his game now that you've gotten into full practice?
Yeah, the thing about Chris is, you know, he just has to develop his confidence, John. I mean, he's really talented. I mean, you look at him, and he looks exactly like his brother, and you sort of expect him to be exactly like his brother. And they've always played a little bit differently. But they've always both been really good. They both can dribble, pass, and shoot. They both rebound and block shots. You know, Chris, I think, is a very good three-point shooter. And they can play together. And like I said, we can be versatile in terms of the offense we run, but also how we play defensively. We can switch. We can switch with guards because those two can guard backcourt players, which is not easy in this league. You know, but they're both 6'8". They both have 6'11" wingspans. And it'll be fun watching them both play together this year.
Third row over here.
Fran, Adam Jardy with the Columbus Dispatch. Jordan Bohannon's about to become the Big Ten's all-time leading three-point shooter. When you've had somebody as long as you've had him, what has it been like to see him grow into that role and excel in that role, and watching someone with that kind of talent shoot every day in practice? What has that been like for you to see that transpire?
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, it's funny you bring that up because yesterday he was absolutely on fire in practice. I mean, he must have made 10 or 11 threes. So that's obviously fun to watch, especially when you lose guards on it. But for him, pretty much from the minute he got there, he had a very mature game. He started for us about the 5th or 6th game into the season and has been starting ever since. He's always played the point, and he may play some there, but you know, we've kind of moved him to the off-guard position. He's running around in that position, shooting threes and moving without the ball, which he's also been very good at. But it's really hard to be that consistent in this league, you know, and when you get somebody like that, it's really special to go on the floor knowing that you have a guy. In his freshman year, he made 8 threes on the road at Maryland. I mean, that's rare, and that says a lot about his character, his mental toughness. You know, he has a swag about him that, you know, this team is going to need, and we're very fortunate that he decided to come back.
We have time for one final question. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning, Coach. Good luck this season. We will now take another 2-minute break.